All right, it just ticked over 12:15. So welcome everyone to the user group for May 17th. I hope everyone's having a great Friday so far, and let's get stuck into it. So today's agenda, we'll go over some questions, updates, new features. We'll review how to access global modules. That's been re-enabled for everybody, so I'll show you how you can access that. And a couple of tips of the months that we will just review now that they've been up and running for the last couple of months. So the main question this month was surrounding the global module content and where you can access that global module content. So once we jump into TransIT, I'll show you the 3 areas that you can actually access the global module content. So the 3 places are the modules column inside a workflow. So when you're editing a workflow, using the global icon in the modules page. So I'll show you how to toggle that on and off. And then the modules lookup from the add modules icon on the script steps page. So I'll show you all 3 of those. 2 of them should be fairly familiar with everybody, but the middle one with the new icon is new. So I'll be able to show you everyone that one in a minute. The updates since we went live late last year, we re-enabled the multi-select custom reference list. So I did go over this at last month's meeting, but I will re-show it this month just because there was a small bug in terms of it selecting all of the multi-reference lists on that one plan page. So I'll re-show everyone that one. We fixed the workflow and modules description box. So now you can expand it. So if you have a lengthier description, you can actually see what you're typing. As I mentioned earlier, we re-enabled access to the global modules. In terms of testing, if you're our friends on the American side of the border, you can now get SMS notifications via your cell number as long as the user is opted into it. I'll re-show the test dashboard columns remaining sticky. And then in terms of the issues, it's the same as the testing, the SMS notifications, as long as the user has opted in and said, yes, they do want to see and receive those SMS messages. In terms of re-enabling the access to global modules, as I mentioned, it's now currently available. It is read-only until you move it to your organization. So I'll show you how easy it is to move it across to your organization, and then you can modify it from there. There is an icon on the modules page that toggles you from your current content to your global modules content. Very easy to use. You can still hover over the description column to preview the module, and you can also click into it as well. When you add your global module to your client content, you need to choose your own vendor and the project, and it will assign a new number within your organization based on the next number available, based on your organization. So I'll show you that once we jump into TransIT. The tip of the month just is around workflows and just the steps that you should follow when you're uploading workflows. Our own Make team has been uploading a lot of workflows for the past couple of months. And this workflow in terms of how to upload and edit has worked very well for us. So when you document your workflows, you can load it into TransIT. You want to create and update your functional test scripts. You want to use your modules either in your organization or the global modules if you don't have any. And then you create your functional test scripts from those modules. If you don't have modules created, you can create modules from within the test scripts, which I know I've personally done, and it's very easy to do. You then create and update your scenario test scripts using any modules and as few connecting steps as possible. And then if the workflow does get updated or changes are made, you then go back to the step 1 and you follow those steps again and just make sure that everything is all in order in terms of the way the updates have gone. In terms of the best practice, I know we discussed this a couple of months ago in terms of categorizing and using your categories within TransIT for your plans, modules, and scripts and workflows. So we just wanted to reiterate, just at a minimum, that your teams Use your categories as your teams. For all scripts, you want to add categories for your integration test scripts. So, for example, your EHRs, your ERPs, and then for plans, you want to consider adding cross-reference teams to your projects. So communications, cutovers, decisions, workflows, and data loads. So we'll jump into TransIT. And does anyone have any questions so far, or are we good to jump into TransIT? Beautiful. So I'll show you the modules where you can get access to those global content modules. So when we're into a workflow, once you're here, if you add your step, you can go across here and we can search for any specific module that we would like. And then you can see here that it has global across on the right-hand side. That means that that is global content. Anything else that has the non-global tagline here on the right, that is your content. So that's just an easy way to add any of the global content from workflows. From within scripts, when you go into a script, when you use this add module icon up on the top right-hand corner, it's very similar to what we just saw in workflows. You just enter your module name and you can see you have your global content just here. But what is new, when you click on your modules icon on the top here, you'll see that there's a new icon on the top right-hand corner. This icon is a toggle, so we'll toggle for your content, which is displayed now by default. And then if you do click the icon here, it will show up with a whole bunch of global content for your modules. So we can see here that we have a whole bunch of global content, and you can tell the project's just here. So if I toggle this one back on, this is our own content, and the icon actually changes to a different icon when you go to global. So if we wanted to look and see if this was the module that we wanted to add to our content, we can hit it, and we would then assess it and see if this is the actual module we wanted to add to our content. Maybe it needs a little bit of changes here and there or tweaks. We can go back. We can also hover over the description on the right-hand side here, and we can just see a quick preview of the actual module. If this is the module that we wanted to add to our content, very simple, right-click, import to global module. This is where we can change the name, the description. We would enter in the project and the vendor. So we'll just pick any vendor and we will click Save. And now this module here, you'll see that the edit tools are up here on the right-hand side. And then if you double click, you can actually do any changes that you would like to make. Does anyone have any questions on adding global content or global modules to your actual content? Great, we'll move on then. In terms of the description, we have fixed the workflows and modules description box. So when you go into a description, if you have a long, lengthy description here, you can actually expand the box here now, and it will display all of the description. Previously, it was just one line like this, and then you had to scroll across manually to see it. So now you can just right-click on the right-hand corner here at the bottom right-hand corner, and you'll be able to see the entire description. That is the same on modules as well. So if we go across the modules, you'll see if you have a long description, you can now move it up and down. So very simple, very easy to do. In terms of the test dashboard and the filters remaining sticky, if I go into a test dashboard here and I wanted to expand some of these columns here, maybe I wanted to make the date a little bit bigger, I can then go back into a different area of TransIT. And if I go back into the test dashboard here, you'll see that the columns have remained sticky, as we call them, but they won't revert back to the default unless you log out or close the browser. Does anyone have any questions on the content that we've covered so far? Great, that's all I had for today. So unless anyone wanted me to show anything new or anything that you're having issues with in TransIT, pop your hand up and I can answer them for you. Great. If there's no questions, we'll finish it a little early and we can have an early Friday.
Thank you, Travis.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Travis.